guys, it's I.B.B. and I had a chance to get in on the test server this weekend. I don't always get that opportunity because the weekends are actually kind of busy for me, but this one here was one that I was looking forward to because I knew that they were going to be testing something that I have been wanting in this game for a very long time, and that is a death match option, and that is where you take away the beacon. So you have no beacon control, you don't have to control the map, you just sort of have to do as much damage as you can and try to kill everybody. And that is something that I've been wanting for quite some time, and so this is my opportunity to get in here and help test this thing. Now, when you're talking deathmatch, one of the things that you would expect to have happen is that players would just go gung-ho, and they would just, go make a beeline for each other and do as much damage as they can. And that is not necessarily what I saw happening here in this situation. I saw that the team that found themselves to be outmatched, or maybe the players on each team were a little bit more aggressive versus less aggressive playing styles. The team that was less aggressive tend to sort of hold up in their spawn area, which did have a tendency to drag out the match a little bit. Now, one of the things that the developers did do is they left the timer in the game, so you still have a 10-minute match, which I thought was a good thing because one of the draws and the benefits of this game is that you can, if you have a little bit of time, you're on break at work, you can break out your phone or whatever it is that you use to play this game on, and you can have a match or two. That's what I do at work. I will get 20-30 minute breaks at work, and I'll just break out my phone and play a match or two here and there. So that 10-minute match I thought was good. However, that did tend to lead to a bunch of draws, and I did not really feel like a draw is something that was really necessary in this game. I don't really feel like it's necessary in any game that you play, and if you watch my channel this weekend, I uploaded a game where I likened it to watching an NFL game. You spend 3.5-4 hours of your life watching an NFL game. It goes into overtime, and at the end of the first overtime, they still don't have a winner because that's the rule that they've adopted here over the past, I don't know, decade or so. And it just makes you want to write a strongly worded letter to the NFL, and that's sort of what it wanted to make me do here while playing this game. I spent 10 minutes of my life shooting people in the face, and at the end of it, we still didn't have a winner, and I just wanted to write a strongly worded letter to the developers at Pixonic. There's zero reason to have the draw system. There's plenty of ways that you can use to determine the winner of a game. You can use the number of bots each team has killed. Whatever team kills more bots is the winner. You could use the number of bots that a team has left. Whatever team has the most bots left out of all the players on their team, that didn't drop out, by the way, wins that match. You could use damage. The amount of damage each team has could be the winner. You could use a combination of damage coupled with the amount of bots left or the amount of bots destroyed. There's a myriad of different ways that you could use in order to determine the winner of a game. You don't have to have the draw system. Now, there were other things that I felt were shortcomings in this type of a matchup. One of them I mentioned earlier, which is the fact that one of the teams tended to, what you see right here, is just sort of hang out in their spawn area as they're just sort of being picked on by the other team. However, that is not something that I feel like the developers need to try to tackle and fix. That is just sort of a playing style of the players, and that is sort of just what happens when you get randomly matched up with other players in a game. There were matches that ended like this, where I was on the aggressing team, and then there were other matches where it ended where I was on the opposite side. I was stuck in my spawn area trying to defend, and it seemed like they were picking on me. And that is what it is. You get a little bit of both, depending on how Matchmaker played you. With that said, I think if the developers were going to try and do something about that, one of the things that they could do is give players a choice of spawn areas. You could spawn here, or you could spawn somewhere else, or maybe you could just make the spawn points random, completely and totally random for both teams. Something you could try. I'm not saying it would work. I'm not saying it's a good idea. I'm just throwing it out there, and it's something that you could test. All in all, I do like the deathmatch option. I like the potential that it has, and I just think it's going to take a little while to test a few different options, and I think it will be a viable option for this game. Alright, so moving on, I didn't test every single thing that they had to offer in this test server. I did test this new prototype weapon here, and I've also tested it before. When I test drove it before, it had the automatic fire option. They've since disabled that, and I like that disabling. However, it still is a weapon that requires absolutely zero skill to operate. In fact, both prototype weapons that they had in this game to be tested, I didn't test the second one, requires zero skill to operate. And there are certain players in this game, and I'm one of them, that just simply do not like that. When I'm using plasma, and I'll just take that for instance, plasma has a very high success rate of being able to lock onto a target and put some rounds on that target and do some damage. However, you still have to be able to aim at that player. If you don't, if your bot is too fast, you have a harder time of controlling where your fire goes. If the other bot is too fast, you have a harder time. If there's a lot of camera shake, you know you're not going to land 100% of your shots. There's just a lot that goes into it, even though there is a high success rate of putting plasma bolts on target. With this one here and with the other one, not so. Just aim in a general direction and there you go. I thought it was boring. And that's really all I have to say about it. So there you go, those are my thoughts. The main thing that I wanted to test this weekend was that deathmatch option, because I've been looking forward to that for so long. And then the second one, I kind of wanted to see, you know, the updates to this prototype weapon, because I did test this a couple of weeks ago. And to be honest, this is just fundamentally flawed in my view of how it is that I like to play the game. Not saying that's right or wrong, good, bad, or ugly, or anything in between. It's just how I roll. And I really don't have any suggestions on how to make that any better for a weapon of this design. Hey, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new here. I have new gameplay videos every single day. Smash the thumbs up, thumbs down button. Don't be shy. Leave a comment down below. Until then.